Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah and I wanted to welcome all of you to another installment of the Road to Riches and Amateurs Investment Journey here on my YouTube channel. For those of you who are not familiar, this is basically a series where I take leftover money at the end of every single month and invest it into a real portfolio, pardon me, to really show you guys how easy it is to start accumulating long-term wealth. So with all of that being said, let's get into the review for the previous month, and then I'm going to share my plans for the month of October 2024. Okay, so here we are in Excel in the dashboard that I've kind of made to track all of our investments for the series, right? And I know I did promise in the last episode last month that this was going to get a little bit of a facelift. I had a lot of things going on, so that's going to be postponed, or I'm going to say it's going to be postponed until the next episode where I think I can make things a little bit more pretty on this dashboard. But let's review what we've been doing for the last few months. So starting, overall, I guess the first thing that I want to say is this has been a very good series thus far, right? The goal in this series is to obviously stay positive, right? Stay green, and to make money over the course, over the duration of investing. And for the most part, if you're looking, just briefly, green means I'm ahead of schedule or at what I expect to be. And we started this actually roughly a year ago. We're right around our year anniversary, and you can see there's quite a bit of green, meaning we have outperformed the expectations that I set for this based off of historical records or historical trends that we saw for all of the investments that we're making. But more recently, I think a notable change that I did was invest in individual stocks, in this case, NVIDIA. And of course, oddly enough, as soon as I invest, it's red, right? So you can see, since I started basically that first month, it already dipped to below what I would have expected it to be, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because of other factors that aren't being considered with the stock. How rapidly it grew to begin with, that can throw off its overall trajectory, pardon me, for a little bit. But those are the red, right? That's what we're seeing in red here are my NVIDIA stocks, not really keeping up with what the history of the stock has really shown. But like I said, for a lot of these, the series in total is a long-term investment, right? I'm not doing this on a daily basis. This is really a long-term series that I hope to continue on this channel here. But overall, we've been doing pretty well here. So starting back in August, we were doing well. Obviously, the red in NVIDIA is noticeable. September, we were positive as well. In September, we kind of went back to our roots, which was investing in VOO. We did actually invest in NVIDIA a little bit in September as well, but I think we're going to kind of gear more towards what we really started with was investing in ETFs. So that's what we did for September. Things were going well. And now for October, I'm going to really continue that, right? So you can see for October right here, I've purchased 3 shares of VOO, which is old reliable here in this series, $5.23 a piece, for a total of about $1,570. And what's interesting to me is that when I started this series, about a year ago, this price for one share of VOO, I remember being like $440. Like I very distinctly remember it being right around there. So now to look at how much it costs to buy it, I wish I didn't buy more of it at the time, right? So this is, probably, hopefully going to continue for a very long time. But hopefully it acts as kind of an indicator, pardon me, to get involved early on in your working career. So for September, the end of September, like I said, we were all green except for NVIDIA, which I don't really consider a loss if I'm being honest. And here are the targets for the end of October. I think I'm pretty confident we're going to meet all of our targets. So we will just have to wait and see. The next thing, obviously, that I like to show you guys is my actual portfolio on Charles Schwab. So I'm going to do that right now. So now we are looking at my actual dashboard on Charles Schwab. Obviously, this is a screenshot, right? This is just the easier way to do it. But there's a lot of numbers. I always say there's a lot to look over here. It's not worth getting into in this video. But outlining the important details, obviously, is the total account value here, right? What is my entirety worth, right? What is this account worth? And it's 32,000, almost 33,000, which is really like I said, when you start doing these kind of endeavors, right? And I've said it before. This is just one investment account that I have just for this series, but to see that account climb from zero, essentially, right? This account is a year old. To see it get to $32,600 is really good, because a year goes by really, really fast. And if you compound it, 10 times, it's going to be, hopefully it's going to be a pretty sweet ride. But the other things to look at, obviously, are your cash and investments. And there's cash in here because I hadn't yet spent the money on VOO, so there's a little bit more in there right now. The total market value, if I would sell everything right now, it'd be 31,000. The day change, obviously, how much my portfolio has changed in a day. So I made about 1,500 in one day, in this from this $31,000, which is pretty good. The important thing that I always like to stress is the next one, which is the total cost basis right here. The total cost basis is basically the amount of money that I have put in to the T, right? So this means that throughout this whole portfolio, I have put in almost $26,000, right? Which is quite a bit of money, right? That's a lot of money. But if I were to sell, right, this is what I would get, 31,000. So clearly, right, I'm making money here. And you can see that with the total gain and loss. It's going to represent, everything that you've made, everything that you've hopefully not lost, but it's kind of reflected right there, just over $5,000. And another important thing to note is that $5,000 came from me literally doing nothing, right? This series, I spend no time on this series. I just come in, I hit record, start trading, or not trading necessarily, but I invest, right? I buy shares of VOO or other ETFs or Nvidia, and I just wait till the next month, and I do it again, 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 and do it again, and so on. So to just be doing that amount of work and to see the account grow to this amount and see all the green, all the positive here, it's a really, really incentivizing to keep going. So I hope you feel that as well. And of course, I do like to share the purchase page, right? This is where you buy ETFs or stocks, whatever it is. You just enter the symbol, it'll share the price, which is 523, right? That I previously showed. You hit buy, you enter your quantity. I wanted 3. Well, I want more, but I wasn't able to purchase more at the time. Well, I could have, but we want to keep it consistent for this series. Always reinvest dividends, especially when you're just starting out. You don't need the money right now. Just reinvest everything. An order type, I buy at the market rate, right? So if the market's closed, it'll buy it the next day. If it's open, right, it'll buy it right then and there for that price. It'll give you your estimated total, and then you hit review order, look at everything again, and then you confirm, basically, right? And at that point, your order is submitted, and those shares will be reflected on your dashboard. So there you guys go. That is going to conclude, hopefully, this quick episode of The Road to Riches. Right? It's a very fun series. Like I said, I don't put that much time into doing a lot of research. Well, I mean, I have done a lot of research, obviously, but on a month-to-month basis, I'm basically doing the same thing, right? And that's what investing is. Investing is meant to be very consistent over the course of a lot of years. But the key is that if you can do it sagaciously, if you can invest wisely, you won't have to invest for that long. And the other thing to consider is that the earlier you start investing, the earlier you'll be able to stop and actually enjoy the spoils of those returns, right? Which is ultimately a big reason for my YouTube channel here, to get people incentivized to get involved with their financial security long term. I think it's kind of a lost, or it's becoming a lost kind of a lost art here in the United States and maybe around the world too. So, as always, I hope this series, I hope this episode was helpful to you and encouraging for you to get going on your investing as well. With all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today. And as always, happy financing.